Hey everyone, Scott here to discuss The Great Muppet Caper, starring the Muppets you know and love and directed by Jim Henson. Now, this is the first time I've seen this movie, so let's get into it and let's see what this is all about. We open with the Muppets, led by Kermit the Frog flying in a balloon while they fly by the opening credits, and we start the plot off with Kermit, Fozzie Bear, and the Great Gonzo crash land and sing a song with the crowd in New York City. And the song was fun as they dress up as detectives and they ask for a raise on their salary from their boss as he refuses to give them a raise. And they also get fired until Kermit asks to go to London to see who was involved in a robbery with a woman who lost her purse during the singing as they investigate who stole it, and they go to a plane in London as it's going to Italy but drop them off at England and land in a pond. And the plot slowly kicks in as I'm giving it time because this feels like a remake of an older noir movie, and I admire that about this movie. And the humor is working for me. Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo check in at a hotel, which is where Scooter the Gopher, Rolf the Dog, and Rizzo the Rat and other Muppets hang out at as they sing Welcome Home with the band with Animal, which is really funny in a haha kind of way because, come on, Animal cracks me up in general. While Gonzo takes nonstop photographs, and Sam the Eagle comes out and says, "You're all weirdos." I don't know if I can do that justice. Please forgive me, Sam. As the songs are fun, and there's a good reason this was nominated for an Oscar for Best Original Song in the year 1982. And we meet Lady Holiday, played by Diana Rigg, meeting with the lovely Miss Piggy, as she wants to audition for a model position, but she's Lady Holiday's assistant instead, as Miss Piggy is my favorite part of the movie, as she's the best character in my opinion, with Animal. Lady Holiday comes off rather rude to Miss Piggy as she guards Lady Holiday's desk, and Kermit, Fozzie, and Gonzo arrive on their Lady Holiday's on the floor of Lady Holiday, and Kermit meets with Miss Piggy as she pretends to be Lady Holiday and interviews her, and he asks her to go to dinner at a fancy restaurant, leading Kermit to believe she's Lady Holiday. While they leave, and Gonzo gets a taxi cab by almost killing himself, which can be dangerous in general. So, kids, don't try that at all because you have very long lives ahead of you. And they ride the taxi cab and almost get crashed until they hit a building of some kind. Back to their hotel, and this movie is definitely harmless for kids, as humor works for them and as well as adults. Kermit goes on the date with Miss Piggy, aka Lady Holiday, for now, while Fozzie wanted to go with them as Kermit wants to go alone, and they sing about what Kermit has compared to Fozzie and Gonzo, and afterhand, Kermit wants Fozzie to come along as he invites all the Muppets while Miss Piggy waits outside of Lady Holiday's house while climbing the building, and eventually gets in as she pretends to live in the house and answers the door while Lady Holiday is on a date, whom I believe is her husband, and he looks around while Miss Piggy shows Kermit about around the house and asks Lady Holiday's husband, Neville, played by John Cleese. Yeah, that's a shock, as I got that was him later in the scene. On my second viewing of this film, what fancy restaurants were here, and this is a clever, funny movie. They drive around England to the fancy restaurant they got recommended to while the band plays rather loudly, and they get to the restaurant and eat with Miss Piggy, Kermit, and Gonzo and Fozzie, as Gonzo takes a picture of everyone for $10, and the real Lady Holiday ends up arriving at her husband with her, I want to say brother Nicky or something like that, at the place while where Kermit talks about her jewels were robbed in the beginning of the movie, and he sneaks around, and that's when I think he must have something to do with the robbery, as he brings in three women of thieves while Miss Piggy and Kermit dance on the dancing floor and sing about the magical night they're having together, while the real Lady Holiday recognizes Miss Piggy as her new assistant. And that's a sweet and romantic moment in a Muppet movie, and that scene was heartwarming. The three women thieves turn off the lights and steal Lady Holiday's necklace as Kermit learns Miss Piggy is not really Lady Holiday, and she forgot her shoe, which slips out like in Cinderella as she runs out of the restaurant as the next day comes and takes over the bathroom to look for the thief while everybody else needed to use the restroom. And Kermit takes a walk to a bench and bumps into an Englishman talking to Kermit about what he believes happened in this case, as he asks if he wanted to watch, and the dialogue is pretty good. While he sees Miss Piggy and tells her he knows about how she lied to him, and she confesses who she is and have an argument about how she's overacting in the scene, while he admits they're filming a movie. And Miss Piggy says the line, "Oh, Kermie," for the first time in any Muppet movie, which is my favorite line in any Muppet movie history, in my opinion. Kermit and Miss Piggy have a bicycle ride until Kermit falls on a tree and lands on Miss Piggy's bicycle, and the other Muppets ride along as they sing about "Could we ride a bicycle?" while Lady Holiday prepares for a show as Miss Piggy is flirted by Nicky as he's in love with Miss Piggy, and it's revealed that first off that he is her husband, as he is a part of the plan, while Kermit and Fozzie watch the show and sees the models as one of the models fakes hurting herself, and Miss Piggy takes over her place and shines the room as people love her, and she imagines herself in Fantasyland. And this is all funny to me as I laughed at every scene Miss Piggy was in every single Muppet movie. Miss Piggy gets wet, and Nicky throws Lady Holiday's jewels in Miss Piggy's pocket, and she says, "Where are the diamonds on the jewels?" And she says Miss Piggy stole the diamonds, and Gonzo overhears Nicky and the three women thieves talking about them framing Miss Piggy, as they explain how Miss Piggy was innocent as well as the plan to get her out of jail, and the other Muppets say they don't want to, and Fozzie explains how shameful the other Muppets should be, and they go rescue Miss Piggy by starting with Kermit being Miss Piggy's attorney, Rosenthal, and tells them that what will happen to the thieves at midnight as Miss Piggy wants to go after Nicky and the three women thieves as they kiss and gets marks on their face. And come on, how can you not know it's all a lie to begin with? But I'm okay with it. While Nicky and the three women thieves and the Muppets talk about their side of the plan to either frame and free Miss Piggy, which again, I'm okay with these scenes. Miss Piggy breaks out of jail and hitches a ride with the laundry truck as she got behind did she get out of there without being spotted, as that didn't make much sense. And the Muppets go in front of Lady Holiday's house, and they hear guard dogs and disguise themselves as delivery men of pizza, while Miss Piggy hitches a couple of rides by throwing Peter Ustinov out of the truck. And in case we don't know who Peter Ustinov is, he started playing that character. It doesn't matter. It's a kids movie. What am I talking about? And this movie has the least impressive cameos in any Muppet movie, in my opinion, as the guard gets a pizza delivered to him despite he hates pepperoni in general, and the other Muppets make it through the gate, and the dog guards go after them, and they climb to the roof of the house while scaring the fear out of them as Rolf talks to the guard dogs, because remember, he's the dog, and tells them to stand down while Miss Piggy's truck breaks down and conveniently gets a motorcycle and eventually gets pulled over by a cop as Nicky and the women thieves try to steal and get to the fabulous baseball diamond and climb their way down and stop Nicky and three women robbers and play a little baseball with it, and Nicky catches the ball out of Kermit's hand, and Miss Piggy comes in and beats up Nicky and the three women robbers, and the guards come in and arrest them while the Muppets are on their way back to New York City, and they fly with parachutes, and credits roll to an after credits where Gonzo takes a picture of the audience, tells them to go home, and the climax is fun for sure, as I had an entertaining time at the end of the day. But how entertaining was I? Let's get to the rating. I'll give this movie a 6.9 out of 10. I admire the way it feels like an older noir movie, and the humor is working for me, and it's sometimes funny in a ha-ha kind of way. And the songs are fun, and there's a reason this got a Best Original Song Oscar of the year in 1982. And Miss Piggy is my favorite character, and part of this movie is as she's always cracking me up, as this movie is definitely harmless for kids, and the humor works for both kids and adults. The puppeteers like Jim Henson, who also directed this thing, Frank Oz, who will direct the next one, and others do a good job with moving the puppets, and the cameos come off unnoticeable. While this has the least impressive cameos by any celebrity, in my opinion, but the movie is clever in a funny and a ha-ha kind of way. As I was laughing at times in the movie, it made some heartwarming choices, and it was a good, cute time at the movies, but not as good as the last Muppet movie. And again, I was entertained. And this is a recommendation for this movie, as I love the way Miss Piggy says the line, "Oh, Kermie," as that will be picked up much later on, as the movie was predictable sometimes, as sometimes it was, but at the end of the day, I'm having fun with this. And the Muppets know how to make a good time in the movies as well as their TV shows. So I'd like to thank you guys for joining me, and next time I will be back with the Muppets Take Manhattan. And until then, oh, Kermie.